tough guy. So he's been doing a great job for us all year long.
He was in a sling today. Is that an indication of his status for Saturday?
I mean, Ryan, like a lot of guys are working through things. I mean, it's that time of year. It's that part of the season. Guys get a little banged up, especially as physical as he plays, and so he's working through some things.
Talk about that time of year for a minute. Everybody's banged up some, and you've been at it a while. Is it easier to coach because you're in a conference race at this time of year?
I just think, when you're coaching the right group of guys, which I believe we have, they love what they're doing, and obviously it makes it a little better when you're in the thick of things. But it's part of the game. We have an experienced group that have been through seasons before, and when you get November, you get guys banged up a little bit. There's been a lot of football played, but this is when you got to play your best. So you just got to fight through and keep going.
If Ryan can't go, you've already lost Monet at that position. Is there any concern about being a little bit thin at the nose tackle spot?
That's at every spot on the field you can say if someone wasn't there, and that's part of the game that you're never going to be really 3-4 deep at any spot. I don't think so. We have a lot of guys that are playing well for us, especially on the defensive line, and we keep rolling guys in.
After Hurst, who else would be the nose? Where would that rotation go after Ryan, Reese, and then who else would be?
We've played a lot of guys along the defensive front at multiple positions. So, Wormley's played both inside and outside. Willie Henry's played both inside and outside. So I think those guys, we've been doing that all year long anyways in a rotation. And, so no matter what's going on, that's always how we're going to play. Whoever's healthy up front, we're pretty deep up there. We're going to play them all.
You've had several players express disappointment at their own performance at Minnesota. What's been the response to that in the days that followed?
Yeah, I think the guys responded the right way last week in their practice, and then went and played a good game on Saturday, and then we got a whole new challenge this week with the great offense we're facing, and they've been putting up a lot of points and yards and everything else. So, and unique style and how they play. So, I think our guys, their focus has been really good. They understand the challenge ahead of them.
How do you prepare your defense to face an up-tempo offense like that at Indiana's?
Yeah, you practice up tempo, and we don't huddle ever anyways, and it's kind of always been something that we've been starting on since way back in spring, just because of the teams we were going to face this year. And we faced some tempo teams earlier in the year. They're probably the fastest tempo team that we have faced, and so I don't think it's anything brand new in what we're doing. It's always something we prepare for each week, but they do a really good job with it.
DJ, going back to the challenge thing yesterday, it sounded like because Chris Wormley was one of the guys mentioning the arm tackles, not running the ball hard enough. It was almost like maybe he challenged himself and teammates. What does a guy like Chris do for a defense right now in this phase of the game?
Yeah, Chris is playing really well for us. He's a prideful guy. I think like most of our defense is, and so that's been the good thing. When we've had times where myself or our coaches have not been real pleased with their performance, it's been one of those deals where you go in the meeting room and they feel the same way, and it's not like they're looking at you like you're crazy. They agree and understand what the film shows, and so that's the best part about our guys. They take pride in their performance, and it matters to them. And so when you have that, guys that are willing, they'll correct it.
You mentioned the second half of Rutgers. You said I think you guys saw that we're getting back on the right track. I guess as a defensive coordinator, when you see those guys be able to flip a switch like that?
Yeah, it's not so much flip a switch. It's just kind of about how what you do and how you play. You play a certain way no matter what the situation, what the game is, what anything else. You don't let anything else change how you play. When you're on the field, you do it a certain way. And so we've done that for the most part this year, a large percentage of the time. And there's always going to be little ups and downs, and you learn from them and grow. Now we got to play our best now.
Have you ever had an All-American on your coaching staff that could help, like Will is for you guys, and how much of an impact is he?
Will Card, yeah, he does a great job. He's obviously knowledgeable, and you guys have respect for him because of what he's done on the field. But he does a great job on the off. He coaches our guys hard, and he's a great asset to our coaching staff. It really matters to Will, and he takes great pride in what he does.
Is he a natural teacher, or is that something he's still learning?
Yeah, no, he's really good. Will's got a bright future in coaching ahead of him, and he's got a good relationship with the kids, and like I said, he pushes them hard. They respond.
closely do you monitor Jabril, given his expanding role beyond the defense?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, you know, that's one of those things where Coach Harbaugh is obviously in charge of that, and it's something that he has done many times with other players. I've done it as well with him, and so, you know, we have a formula for that. We know how many plays he's playing and what's too much, but you know, Jabril's fine, man. He's really helping us in all three phases of the game.
How many guys have you had that have had instincts like that so young, where you can sniff out the screen pass or the bubble screen and stuff like that? Is that just inherent?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, a lot of things Jabril does are you know, things he's just naturally blessed with. I think the great part about him is he's a really hard worker. So the stuff he's been blessed with is really, really good, but he works hard to improve that. And it's a work in progress. You know, he's got a lot of great football ahead of him. I think he's just scratching the surface of what he can do.
Joe, what are some of the film sessions like when you guys are, and going back to Chris when he's mentioning the missed tackles and stuff like that? What are the film sessions like specifically, as far as like concentrating on that?
I feel like the best way to deal with players very directly. So we're very direct about things. There's not a bunch of sugarcoating about anything. It's, you know, if you did something well, you're going to get praised for it. If you didn't, it's going to get pointed out and called out in front of your teammates. I think the guys, you know, respect that. They always know where they stand, and so that's how we deal with things on a day-to-day basis.
Does it get like recycled all the time? Like you guys have like, okay, this is the play where you miss this tackle. I mean, do they like watch it a few times? I mean, how often do you go over that?
No, we don't keep bringing it back up. We watch it, we address it, and then we you know, learn from it in the film room. We go on the field and practice what we need to get better at, and keep moving forward.
Jed was just saying that the defensive guys may have a better perspective on John O'Korn based on seeing him every day as a scout team player. What has he meant to the defense in terms of preparing you guys?
Yeah, that's a great question. He's been awesome. Yeah, we see him every day, and you know, John, he's a competitor, a great quarterback. He doesn't take any BS from the defense at all. I mean, you know, that's what I like him. He's got a little feistiness to him, and but I think he's got a really bright future at quarterback. I mean, that guy's a good player.
Time for a few more back on rollouts, an area where you're looking for improvement, or is that the kind of situation where you're okay with giving up a little bit of pressure if it means defending better elsewhere?
I mean, I think it just depends on call. I mean, there's times where, you know, we're going to pressure and we're thinking the pocket's moving and we're going to get there, and or we're maxing up our coverage. You know, I mean, we just try to mix it up and not be predictable.
What specifically does Indiana present, the biggest challenge that Indiana presents the defense?
I mean, their tempo is, I think, unique. So I mean, the style they play with is not something you see week in, week out. They have an experienced quarterback that knows where to go with the football. He gets rid of the ball really well. Doesn't take a lot of sacks. So there's not a lot of you know, plays for loss when they're playing. And you can see they really move the ball well. And everyone they play, they've scored points. Yeah, I mean, this would be a really big challenge for us. We got to tackle well. We got to get lined up and execute our defense and not let, you know, the tempo and other things affect us.
Is it harder to substitute when they're moving that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, you know, you can only really substitute when they substitute. You know, so if they're going to sub guys in, then that gives us the ability to. But if they don't, you know, we don't. And so, you know, again, we've played other teams similar to this, not quite the same, and so we have a little preparation that way. But they bring some unique things to the table. We'll have to be ready for.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you.